anyway, here we are. I've gotten my loops back in order of where they need to be, and now I just start the spiral again, and that will join up. Let's see if that shows. It'll join up those two mini braids into a nice loop. So 1, and I'll pull fairly firmly to 2. Get joined. I forgot where it was. 3 and 4. I didn't mention this in the other ones. It's often good to have a mantra when you're braiding, something you say to yourself over and over. I've been saying 1, 2, 3, 4. I used to always say with the spiral version, because I would be confused about which loop was where after the first one's very clear, I'm going to do this, but sort of after that, when the colors start mixing up, I would sometimes get confused about what finger would go where, and I would always say my right hand I would think of it as my right hand getting the color that's on that side, and I would say, what do I call that color? It's a mix of color. Get the rainbow. That means I'm not going to go and get this one. I have to get the next one, get the rainbow color. Yeah, get the rainbow color. Whatever mantra works for you is what you should use. For me right now, actually, the 1, 2, 3, 4 works best. So 1, 2, I should have my hands down here, 3, sorry to be going so fast, there's a lot I want to cover here, 4, 1, oops, 2, 3, 4. Now let's take a look at let's park my loops here. Now just lift this off the C-clamp. And there's my little loop. It's kind of cool because I was able to keep the same kind of braid going while it divided. There actually is a way. I'll just leave you this little teaser. I dropped half my loops to braid. You can make this, and if you think about it enough, you'll be able to figure it out. You can make that divided loop simultaneously. You can make both braids simultaneously. You wouldn't have to drop half. It's a little trickier, and it's better to get used to the braiding moves for the 8-loop braid first. You know, get really used to them before you do it, because it would be a different. It's a different order of doing the loop exchanges. Or maybe I will demo that. I wasn't planning on it. Okay, let's just go for it. Basically, to do that, you're going to do a spiral braid of 4 loops with your upper fingers and a spiral braid of 4 loops with your lower fingers. That's just going to separate your braid into 2 parts. And I don't know if my brain is going to be able to handle it right now after doing this and focusing on the video and everything, but basically, you're going to pretend your for part of it, you're going to pretend your upper 2 fingers don't exist, and for part of it, pretend the lower 2 fingers don't exist. So the way you would do the moves then, I usually start with my lower fingers. So you would do 1, 2, with these ones, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. You're always going to do it that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. No, Ingrid, don't mess them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tightening in between each one, just as I did before. If you do it that way, you'll be tightening together. You'll automatically both of the mini braids you're braiding will be the same length and equal tension, but you will be braiding 2 at the same time. I didn't think of that myself. It was a mistake, a very happy mistake that a student made in a workshop, and she was trying to do this braid, the 8-loop braid, and lo and behold, she was making 2 braids at the same time. I was so happy that that happened. It just had never occurred to me. It's logical, but I hadn't thought of it. So actually, I won't do it. I'll just leave you with that teaser. You can try it yourself. And here we go back with the 8-loop. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I forgot what I was going to show. Okay, let's do the other thing that I wanted to show you. How much time do we have? Oh, this is already way over. I'm going to have to cut this. I'll keep going and let's see if we can cut it into 2 sections. What I want to show is how to make the striped version of this braid, which will have a gentle coil to it, twist to it, but it will be a lengthwise stripes. And the way you do that, this braid could have many kinds of stripes with these 2 colors. It could have miniature little thin stripes and have 8, right? Let's see, yeah, it could have 8 miniature thin stripes, or it could have 4 wider stripes, and that's what I'm going to go for. Basically, to get a stripe on your braid with this spiral braid, you have to have the 2 fingers that exchange loops have to have the same color. If they have the same color, there will be a stripe on opposite sides of the braid of that color. So I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to go for 2 wide, 2 wide stripes and 2 wide stripes of each color. I'm not going to have, if you see what I'm saying, there's going to be, these 2 loops are next to each other, so it's going to be a wide stripe of blue and a wide stripe of multi on both sides, on opposite sides of the braid. So now, as you see, every time I'm going to start braiding, and every time that I do a transfer, it's going to be of the same 2 colors. So we're starting again with a new cycle. So move number 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2. Hands get all butterfingersy. 3, 4. It's already starting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more, and then maybe I can squeeze in some narrow stripes too. 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see what we have. Park might put this. I keep getting out of range of the camera. So here was the split. Here was the spiral again, and then here's, I've just done an inch or so of the stripe. There's the stripe. It can be a really nice pattern, the stripe pattern. I haven't done long enough to do it justice, but it's kind of striking as a braid. It really looks good. Let's see. And doing it in this way, it will have a slight torque to it. There'll be that slight twist as we saw in the little 4 loop version. But if you look at my other videos, I show a different way of transferring the loop, which if you wanted to do it straight without a twist, that would result in that. Okay, so let's try separating the colors so that there'll be narrow stripes. So I moved these colors over, so it's dark, light, and now that needs to mirror that, so that this loop's partner has to also be dark, and the next one has to be light. So let's get that one through. Now it should be right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Each exchanging finger, each loop exchange partner finger has the same color. And now they're alternating. In a way, this kind of makes it easier to do the braid because you can really visually see which 2 fingers need to go together. So this might actually be a good one for practicing the braid structure, because I know I'm not going to do that because in this pattern, I want the same 2 colors to meet up. Same 2, dark and dark have to meet up. 4, light and light meeting up. Dark and dark. Light and light. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sorry, put down lower. 1, 2. Always gets a little harder to braid at the very nubs of your loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Might as well go as far as I can here. So that you get a good view of the pattern. It's a little ridiculous. I mean, I often see other people doing this too, trying to fight their way down to the very, very tips of the loops. It's like, well, I don't know why. Not wanting to waste even a little smidgen of the length. I have info on my blog about how to make longer braids, longer than your reach. There's a few good tricks for that. In general, loop braiding has a length limit. You have to be able to... This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm just going to fight that one through and do the last one, and that's it. No more. Now, let's take a look before my time runs out. I'm so rushed here. There. So here's the fat, the wide stripe of color. Somewhat confused by the multicolored strands I'm using there. And then here is where it divides into... Oh, that looks really cool. I like that one. It divides into thin stripes of color. When I did every other finger alternating. Okay, so that's what we've got. Oh, so I have a couple seconds here. Let's see. If you do this quick start that I do, tying this all together, and if there's a loose bit at the top, you can just undo this header knot. And you can just shake out. You don't have to worry about any tangles that you have at the very top, even if they look a little funky when you start. It's not worth fighting with them. It's much easier, well, if I had only undone my knot a little better, it's much easier to just open it up at the end, and then you can just shake out, undo, and kind of tighten up any way that you do that. Tightens them up, and retie your knot. Or make a little tassel or something. Or if you leave a lot of length, you could tie them into braids. And again, you probably know this, but when tying a short bit, you can tie it onto the whole braid and then just work it up. You don't need to try and fight and tie those short ends that you have there. I made a little prettier knot at the top. Okay, that was my quickie, rushed, probably overly long, but tutorial on the different patterns that you can make with the 8-loop so-called spiral braid.